Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you want to see U.S., how should I put it, government's lack of self-awareness, lack of introspection, self-analysis? Here is an example. Let me show you. Or maybe you can call it a hypocritical call. Blinken suggests Iran not a responsible actor on nuclear program. So this guy over here, representing the United States of American foreign policy, he says that Iran is not a responsible actor on a nuclear program. Well, is it because United States is a credible actor and a responsible actor? And if you say yes, let me give you a little example. Now, I hope you know, that there was an agreement on Iran with the European countries, some European countries, which is France, Germany, blah, 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 United States. It was signed. And Iran, okay? And Iran was supposed to do certain things. They negotiated it. So they signed it and say, we're going to do this. And then the United States decided, we're going to get out of it. Fuck you. So it's like you go to a bank and you agree to something, and the bank says, after you guys sign over there, after a while the bank says, you know what, screw you, Gigi. You said your interest rate is set at 2.75. We have it 15% now, right? How would you like that? Or someone sells you a house, and after a while says, you know what, I changed my mind, I want it back, you go out. This is what the United States of America did with that Iran nuclear deal. Remember that one? When the previous administration just withdrew out of it, out of the contract. Remember, a contract is a contract. How they were yelling at the Russians when the Russians says, yeah, you impose sanctions on us? Okay, I want you, my friends, to pay in rubles. I don't want you to pay in dollars anymore. Pay in rubles. A contract is a contract. The United States did that before the Russians. Just withdrew from something that the government, the country, was legally bounded, signed. Like Ukrainians and Germany and France signed, remember, Minsk agreements 1 and 2? Or 2 and 4? Remember that one? That was signed by Ukraine, by the government. And they didn't implement it. They say, we're not going to implement it. The same with these guys. So this guy dares to come out, besides that he is Zelensky Stein and Iran and Israel and blah, 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 comes tells us, Iran is not a responsible actor. Well, that is a lack of self-analysis. What are you talking about? You did something clear. It says, suggests, but you did it. There's no suggestion or ambiguity what the United States did with the Iran deal. We're out, you. So this is not ambiguity what the United States did with that Iran deal, but it is Blinken suggests Iran not a responsible actor, but you are, right? How about the Paris Accords, which I'm glad the United States got out of it, just so you know, but nevertheless, they say, you know what, we get out. The same with these guys. Iran deal, we sign it, well, you know what, I changed my mind. How is that working for you? But then I hold you accountable for your actions, and I suggest that you might not be, responsible. Hypocrisy, lack of self-awareness. What is this? Lack of introspection. What is this, my friends? Well, it is garbage. That's what it is. That's why when you hear Blinken talking like that, or he represents you and I in the foreign policy, imagine how other countries and other people perceive us through them. Because after all, they are in charge. This idiot, Blinken, is in charge because some of you guys, or some of them guys, voted for those idiots that right now run the White House. Blinken, Biden, who's semi-conscious, and Kamala. That's what they are, in charge. And they appointed Blinken, supposedly. So Blinken is a result of how people voted. All right? So you're responsible for that. So whatever Blinken does in their name, the ones that voted for this idiot in the White House, who appointed this idiot, you are responsible, more or less. You can just say, well, it was not me. Well, you hired them. You hired the ones that hired this idiot. So you definitely are in charge. You should have known better. That's what I'm saying. Democracy, any biped, a goose is a biped. Remember? Can go and vote. Doesn't need an ID. Does not need an ID. A goose shows up. Mac, Mac, Mac. I came here to vote. Okay, here, Mr. Goose. What's your name? Mac, Mac. Okay, we got that on the list. It's okay. It's gonna be how do you call it? Goosism. If I ask you what's your name, Miss Goose, I want to call it goosism. Goosism, or I don't know, discrimination. What the hell with these guys? Don't fall for that bullshit. They are not in charge of your semantics. That's why you have to speak out. Speak out loud and exchange information. Argue with people. Communicate. Exchange ideas. You're not going to convince the idiots, but at least, you would attract other people that are on the fence. And they say, wait a minute, if you're right, if you're wrong, well, you learn. By mistakes, you learn. We learn. And if I think I'm right regarding an issue, by communicating with others that have a different point of view on that, I definitely learn something. Even if I win the debate, I learn how to debate that kind of person in the future, because I know their arguments already. That's why in many of my encounters and debates and discussions, I already knew the other side's arguments. So I already had the counter arguments. But they, being in their little bubble, they didn't know my arguments because they didn't bother to listen to my arguments. Maybe they never had a conversation, a verbal spat or a debate with someone like me or someone like you. Therefore, they were unprepared. But I was prepared with them because they parroted the same idiocracy. So I had the answers ready, not in one way, like 10 ways. So when they say something, I have 10 answers, different answers ready. I'm exaggerating, but for some I have. So if they try to attack this one, I got 9 more. And that their conclusions are based on prepared, stereotypical, cliches provided by the mass media. They told them, this is bad because that. And that's it. They don't think further. They don't look at it themselves. Okay, wait a second. Is that true? And if that's true, what else can be out there? No. And they parrot the same thing. They didn't make a logical connection between, or reasonable, using their reason, to make a connection between the conclusion and what was given to them. They don't. But you stay, that's why I have to meditate about things, think about things. And think, okay, let's look at this issue. This angle. What if this? What is? That's how you find out. And then you talk with other people and you exchange information. And you improve, enhance your knowledge. You broaden your horizon. Not by not testing you. I'm not going to talk to you. But don't talk to me. You're going to lose the exposure to a different perspective. And I lose the opportunity to exchange information and see your point of view. I might learn a lot. And I'm telling you, from any kind of conversation, you learn something if you pay attention. You learn something. If you know everything what the other person said, you say, well, I knew all that. You understand how that person behaves. You look at his body language. You look at his tone. You figure out how he gets irritated. What is he doing when he gets irritated? What kind of terms he uses? What kind of techniques? And you learn. We can't know everything. That's why we learn. Learn. So you have to thank people who oppose you because they give you knowledge, wisdom. If you pay attention. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.